Hi, Nick here from Jazzduets. Many people have asked whether it is actually possible to use triad pairs on a jazz standard. Without hesitation, I say yes. I will submit as my first exhibit of evidence what is this thing called love, where I exclusively play triad pairs. After the demonstration, I will present a chord-by-chord breakdown of the triad pairs used so as to leave no shadow of doubt that this is indeed possible for anyone to do if they want to put in some work. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to like, subscribe and comment as these gestures on your part nourish. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Warning, what follows is super dense triad pair theory that could cause FUD. If you are new to triad pairs, it is highly recommended to first start practicing over a static drone rather than on moving chords. And what better resource to use than the Jazzduets Thesaurus of Minor Triad Pairs. Okay, let's get started with the tutorial. Here are the chords to What Is This Thing Called Love? Chord 1 is G-7 flat 5. On this chord I played B flat minor and C minor triad pairs. B flat minor triad highlights the flattened third, the flattened fifth and the flattened seventh of G-7 flat 5. So these notes are reinforcing the sound of the bass chord. C minor triad highlights the 11th, the 13th and the root of the G-7 flat 5 chord. Here is a blast of this sound using some simple triad pair shapes from the Thesaurus. Please note both these triads are minor. Chord 2, C7. On this dominant chord, I superimposed G flat and A flat major triads. The G flat triad highlights the flattened 5th, the flattened 7th, and the flattened 9th of the C7. And the A flat triad marks the augmented 5th, the root, and the sharpened 9th. These two major chords are a tone apart. I think they produce a coherent muscular sound. What about you though? Here is a blast of how these two triad pairs sound when played over C7 sharp 9 augmented 5th using two simple triad pair shapes.
There are various triad options on every chord, depending on the sound and tension you are looking to create. In this video, I'll show just one combination per chord, as otherwise, it's probably going to be too much information for you to digest.
Chord 3, F minor. There are many triad pairs that work over this F minor. I chose F minor and G minor for no other reason than I like the sound of these two triads at this moment in the song. The F minor triad really reinforces the F minor bass chord with the root, minor third and fifth. The G minor highlights the 9th, the 11th, and the natural 6th. Here is a blast of those two triads over a F minor chord. Let's now recap the first 4 bars of What Is This Thing Called Love. I will play a simple triad pair shape in triplets to really outline the sound of the triad pairs. So let's hear the same thing in semiquavers. Learning how to use triad pairs on moving chord changes takes time, so be patient with yourself. Okay, next chord of the sequence, D minor 7 flat 5. On this minor 7 flat 5, I use a different pair of triad pairs. This time I superimpose D diminished and E diminished. So now we have 2 diminished pairs. This is tense. The D diminished reinforces the D minor 7 flat 5 sound. D is the root, F is the minor 3rd, and A flat is the flattened 5th. The E diminished triad is very colourful. E highlights the natural 9th, G is the 11th, and B flat is the 13th. Here is a blast of those 2 diminished triads over D minor 7 flat 5 using shapes that feature 5-note groupings. Okay, the next chord is G7. Over this, I again use 2 major triads a tone apart, D flat and E flat major triads. D flat emphasizes the flattened 5th, the flattened 7th, and the flattened 9th. And E flat highlights the augmented 5th, the root, and the sharpened 9th. Here is a blast of that sound over G7. The last chord of the A section is C major. Over this I use E minor and D major triads. The E minor triad reinforces the major 3rd, 5th and major 7th of the C major. And the D triad highlights the 9th, the sharpened 11th and the 13th. Here is a blast of that sound over C major. Let's hear now a recap of the first 8 bars, super slow. I will spell out the triads, playing a simple shape in triplets, so you can understand and hear what is happening. I don't know about you, but I love this system. So let's hear the same thing in semiquavers. Please be sure to comment if you would like more Triad Pair videos on jazz standards. Perhaps you can even suggest tunes you would like to see this amazing system applied to. Okay, now let's tackle the bridge. The first chord is C minor 7. On this, I suggest E flat and F major triads, a robust Dorian sound. The E flat triad is totally inside the C minor 7 chord, being the minor third, the fifth, and the flattened seventh. And the F triad highlights the 11th, the 6th, and the tonic. Here is a blast of that sound over the C minor 7. The second chord of the bridge is F7. Here again I played two major triads, B major and C sharp major. The B major triad highlights the flattened fifth, the flattened seventh, and the flat 9 of the F7. And the C sharp triad reinforces the augmented fifth, the root, and the sharp 9 of the F7. Here is a blast of that sound over F7. The third chord of the bridge is B flat major 7. Over this chord, I used F major and G minor triads. The F major triad highlights the 5th, the major 7th, and the 9th, so the sound is bright. And the G minor is a rootsier sound, reinforcing the major 6th, the root, and the major 3rd. Here is a blast of that sound using a simple triad pair shape over the B flat major 7. The next chord in the bridge is the juicy A flat 7. Here I chose G flat augmented and F minor triads. The G flat augmented chord highlights the flattened 7th, the natural 9th, and the sharpened 11th of the A flat 7. And the F minor reinforces the 13th or the 6th, the root, and the major 3rd. Here is a blast of that sound over A flat 7 using triad pair shapes. The penultimate chord of the bridge is D minor 7. Over this chord, we will again use the muscular sound of two major triads, F and G. F highlights the minor third, the fifth, and the flattened seventh. And the G triad reinforces the 11th, the 6th, and the root of the D minor. Here is a blast of those two triads over D minor 7. The last chord of the bridge is G7. We saw this before, but let's go over it again. Here I played D flat and E flat major triads. The D flat triad highlights the flattened 5th, the flattened 7th, and the flattened 9th of the G7. And the E flat triad reinforces the augmented 5th, the root, and the sharpened 9th of the G7. Here is a blast of those colours over G7. To finish today's video, let's again listen to the solo I wrote on What Is This Thing Called Love. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to the Jazzduets channel. 3, 4.